Have you ever thought that the road you walk on every day could be 5,000 years old? And the most surprising thing, it's still alive today. Do you know where India's first road was built? Which was that route that not only connected people but also shaped an entire civilization? When we walk on a road from a mud road in villages and cities to a shining highway, we rarely think that these paths also have their own story. That story, hidden in the mud paths, bricks, and stones, gave a direction to the soul of India. The history of roads on India's soil is as old as its civilization. From Chandragupta Maurya to Sher Shah Suri, every conqueror first gave importance to roads. Roads were not just for travel, they also showed the expansion of power and the strategy for fighting wars. When GDP and per capita income were not a thing, these roads were also an index of economic prosperity. So today, I'll tell you the history of India's first road. So like the video and subscribe to the channel, because if you don't know your history, how will you know yourself? This is about 2600 BCE, before Common Era. When the first excavation happened in Mohenjo-daro, archaeologists were stunned because for the first time in India in 2600 BC, a road built by humans was found. You already know that the Harappan civilization was one of the most ancient civilizations in the world. It was an urban civilization where we find evidence of properly planned cities. When cities like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Dholavira and Kalibangan were excavated, evidence of roads was found that still feels like an engineering marvel today. 30-foot wide roads were found here. Just think, 4,600 years ago, when civilizations were seen in very few places in the world, India had roads where two bullock carts could easily pass side by side. The city was settled in a straight line going north-south and east-west, meaning a grid system was used. This shows that city was settled in a pre-planned way. On both sides of these roads were houses made of baked bricks, and there were also a system for water drainage. We even find evidences of footpaths. Archaeologists believe this was the world's first example where a road was built with such detailed planning. Early historians like John Marshall, who worked on the discovery of the Harappan civilization, also highlighted this speciality. But the question is, who built these roads? Unfortunately, the answer is still unknown to anyone. Because the Harappan script has not been decoded yet, this mystery still remains. But the real story has just begun. After the Harappan civilization, time passed, civilizations changed, but roads remained the center of Indian life. Roads are also mentioned in the Vedic period. Words like path means path, route, or Rajmarg means highway are found in the Rig Veda and Atharvaveda, which shows that even in that era, religious and trade journeys happened on fixed routes. The Vedic period went, then came the Mahajanpadas. The names of the roads changed, Uttarapath and Dakshinapath, but the name of one road was recorded in history forever. The routes of these two paths mentioned in Buddhist and Vedic texts were not clearly defined as to where they went from and to. But according to some writers, the Uttarapath included from the Anga Mahajanpada in the east to Gandhara in the northwest, and the entire North India from the Himalayas in the north to the Vindhyas in the south. Among the 16 Mahajanpadas found in the Anguttar Nikaya and Chulla Nidesha, two of them, Kamboj and Gandhara, were related to Uttarapath. It is also mentioned in the Mahabharata and Pali literature. But there is no concrete evidence of exactly where and how this route went. Then comes the Mauryan period. This was the time period when India was politically united for the first time. First, Chandragupta Maurya and later Emperor Ashoka made roads the means of state expansion. Kautilya's Arthashastra clearly states that the security and maintenance of highways is the duty of the state. This meant that roads were a symbol not only of travel but also of governance. In this very Mauryan period, a road was built that laid the foundation for highway construction in India. Yes, the highways you see in the country that connect one state to another, their beginning was in the Mauryan period itself. During this period, a road was built from Pataliputra to Takshila. Megasthenes, who visited India during Chandragupta's time, mentioned this road. He wrote about it, a great road with milestones and shade trees. This means a road along which milestones were placed and trees were planted for travelers to rest. This road connected the eastern part of India with the northwest. This was the same path on which soldiers, traders, Buddhist monks, and travelers all walked. It is said that followers of Buddha reached Central Asia from North India through this route only. Then, during Ashoka's time, along with planting trees, the work of building sarais, means rest houses, was also done along with the road. Wells were built for people traveling on this road so that travelers could quench their thirst. In this way, the concept of public infrastructure appeared for the first time in the history of India during the Mauryan period. Many people connect this road with the Uttarapath or northern route. This road connected the eastern region of India to Central Asia, which was the end point of the Khorasan road. In this way, the existence of the GT road can be traced back much earlier. After the Mauryan period, roads remained the lifetime of the empire even in the Gupta period. Words like Mahamarga means great road and Vanijyapath means trade route were used in the Gupta inscriptions and Buddhist texts. These not only increased trade but also cultural exchange. This was the era when Uttarapath or the great road of the Mauryan period became even stronger. But the work of reinforcing this, which was done in the most solid way in history, was done during the time of Sher Shah Suri. It is often called India's first national road. After knowing its history, you would understand why it is said. But Sher Shah Suri's role in the story of Uttarapath becoming the Grand Trunk Road is also very interesting. Sher Shah Suri, whose real name was Farid Khan, was a king of Bihar. When Sher Shah Suri removed the Mughal emperor and captured Delhi, he understood that a sword alone would not be enough to maintain such a large empire. Along with the army, roads were necessary from where the empire's eyes and ears, that is, the postal communication system, could be developed. That is why he built a road that went from Delhi to Kabul and was later extended to Bengal. This route later became famous as the Grand Trunk Road. By the way, let me tell you that during Sher Shah's time, its name wasn't Grand Trunk Road. In his era, it was called Sarak-e-Azam, the Great Road. If you look at this road on the map, you will find that it was inspired by the highway of the Mauryan period. That is, the one that went from Pataliputra to Takshila. Sher Shah, in a way, gave a new life to this ancient route. The road was widened and paved. Sarais, posting stations and security checkpoints were built on it. According to the historian Abul Fazl, the roads built by Sher Shah Suri were very important for the empire. This road was for the army and trade, and also milestones were placed every 2 kos, means about 4 kilometers. These were tall, solid pillar-like minarets, about 30 feet high, strong and made of bricks, which were later plastered with red lime. You can still see this Kos Minar, means milepost, today in the National Zoo in Delhi. Sher Shah Suri developed the Grand Trunk Road very well. At that time, the distance from Delhi to Bengal was about 1600 kilometers. There were more than 1500 sarais along this distance. Every sarai had arrangements for travelers to stay and eat, and there was even a doctor. One interesting thing was that 2 separate sections were built in every sarai, one for the Hindus and other for the Muslims. In the medieval period, Sher Shah's road gave a new direction to India's economy. Trade caravans, spices, silk, grains and horses, everything moved along this route. From the ports of Bengal to the mountains of Afghanistan, Sher Shah Suri's road had bound the Indian subcontinent into a large economic system. This road was a center of strategy for war as well, not just for trade. Because of this road, the movement of the army from Delhi to Bengal became easy via single road. That is why Sher Shah Suri established many small forts and checkpoints along this road during his reign, so that information about any revolt or attack could reach the capital immediately. Rudyard Kipling wrote, "It is a river to me on which I was floated like a log after the breakup of the flood." And truly, the Grand Trunk Road is a wonderful spectacle. It runs straight, bearing without crowding India's traffic for 1500 miles. Such a river of life as nowhere else exists in the world. Therefore, Sher Shah Suri, who only ruled for 5 years, showed the way to the entire Indian subcontinent with this road. This was the same route on which the Mughal army, the British East India Company, and later travelers of independent India all walked. Starting from Delhi and heading towards Lahore, Peshawar, and Kabul, this road was strategically important to the west. While to the east, it reached Siliguri in Bengal. Therefore, it became a road about 2,400 kilometers long, which is considered South Asia's longest and oldest continuously used road. During the British period, when India was also a colony, they also faced the challenge of how to maintain, control, and communicate over such a large area. From the late 17th century to the mid 19th century, the British realized that if they wanted to rule India properly, a network of roads was essential. It was at this time that their eyes fell on the Grand Trunk Road, which had been the heartbeat of North India for centuries. Then, a large scale survey of this route was done. In many places, the route was broken and damaged due to years of neglect. Then, in the 1830s, the company decided that this road would be renovated. Then, a new project began, the Calcutta to Peshawar Road project. Under this project, Sher Shah's road was presented in a new form. A road that was very wide, paved, and in many sections it was strengthened with concrete and stones. In this way, they also revived India's ancient history after Sher Shah Suri. But the significance of this road for the British was also very economic. This road connected India's eastern port, Kolkata, with major trading centers in India like Delhi, Lahore, and Peshawar. Through this road, the East India Company got the facility to easily transport Bengal's rice, Bihar's indigo, and Punjab's cotton to the northwest via Delhi. When the revolt of 1857 happened, the British army used this road extensively to suppress the movement. The movement of soldiers to all these places like Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, and Allahabad happened via this highway. This means the road that was once the lifeline of Sher Shah Suri's administration became the backbone of the British Empire. By repairing it, they turned it into an imperial artery. Bridges, milestones, toll stations, and rest houses were built on it. For the first time in India, road engineering was formalized. Concepts like drainage systems, proper curbs, culverts, and mile numbering came during this period. Once the British completed this highway, they also started the classification of roads in India, such as district roads, provincial roads, and national roads. And at the top of this category was the Grand Trunk Road, which was also called India's first highway. In the 1910s, the British government gave this road the status of a main trunk road and kept its control directly with the center, not giving it to any state. The interesting thing is that many parts of this road became outstanding examples of engineering during the British period itself, such as the Howrah Bridge in Kolkata and the Yamuna Bridge in Delhi. These bridges were part of the project linked to these routes. Trees were planted along the road, neem, peepal, and babool, to provide relief to travelers from the sun and rain. Rudyard Kipling wrote in praise of this route, "If the Grand Trunk Road breathes, India breathes." The importance of this route is captured in this one sentence. The British Empire not only made this road a means for their trade, but also made it the foundation of modern infrastructure and planning. Even after the development of railways in the late 19th century, this road was not left behind. Like the trains, this road had now become a supply and support road. The British established many cantonments along it, such as Meerut, Kanpur, Ambala, Ludhiana, and Peshawar. All these cities are still situated along the same old highway today. After independence, when the government of India announced the national highway system in 1950, this very Grand Trunk Road was made a part of NH1, NH2, and later NH44 and NH19. That is, this was the road that maintained its identity from Sher Shah Suri to the British rule and then to modern India. So friends, this was the story of India's first road. During the British period, this road connected not just India but also countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, because these were the part of Indian subcontinent. That is why it was also called the spine of connectivity of South Asia. This route not only strengthened trade exchange but also gave rise to cultural exchange. Even today, this road is the same and holds history within itself. It's just that now trucks and cars run along its side, not horses and camels. But behind every milestone, beneath every tree, a layer of history is hidden. The story of Sher Shah's foresight, British engineering, and the continuity of Indian civilization. So this was the story of the first highway of India, that is also known as Grand Trunk Road of India in modern times. And in ancient time, it was also known as the Uttarapath. So I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please like and share this video to your friends and family. And if you want these videos to be continued, please subscribe the channel History Connect English. Thank you.